we are going to have the session. Okay, every day at 3 p.m. you be available, and the rest of the time, say for example, I'll give you some tasks and all, so that you can do it in the other morning sessions. Okay. So what are the multiple different types of applications? What are the different types of applications?
Standalone. Ma'am, standalone. Client web application. Client server web application.
What is a client and server application?
The combination of one or two software.
Give me an example of one-tier architecture.
Notepad, ma'am.
How? How?
Notepad, MS.
Ma'am, we need to install that software in a particular laptop.
Local system. Provide only one person can access at a time.
Only one person can access at a time. Okay, good. So we have, yes. Okay, good. I think little bit of idea you have got. Did you gone through the notes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we'll be dealing more. Okay, we'll start our journey with web application. So can you define what is a web application?
Any application. Any application access to a browser.
And it is 3-tier application.
I'll give you a few definition. Okay, let me take it like any application accessed via URL and browser. Okay, you can call it as a web application. Another definition. Okay, collection of web resources, okay, is called as a web application. What do you mean by collection of web resources? Or simply what do you mean is a resource?
Things that we require to access that application, like browser.
No. It's not the things what we need to access in the application. They are all the minute components in your application. Okay. For example, let me go to Flipkart. Okay, let me go to
like different features.
Flipkart.com. Yes, different features available. See, this is my Flipkart application, right? In this application, I have a module called as groceries. I have a module called as mobiles. I have a module called as fashion, electronics. All these are different features available in this application. So web resource, you can take it as a feature. Okay, a feature which is present in your application. So collection of all these web resources is collectively called as a application. Okay, it's like smallest unit. You can take it as the smallest unit. Okay, if all these features are working fine, only then you can tell your application is working fine. Correct or not? If you don't have these features at all, so will it become an application? Is there any scope for application? No, not at all. It doesn't exist at all. Okay, it's like small things pile up to become a big application. Login is a feature. Okay, your home is a feature. Your electronics is a feature. Travel is a feature. Beauty toys is a feature. Okay, like this. These features we call it as web resources. In a more technical terms, we call it as web resources. Based on these web resource, your entire web application is classified into two major types. What are those? Okay, one is a static web application. Okay, another one is a dynamic web application. Okay, so I have given you a hint. Can you define static web application?
Name of the application.
No. I'm asking you the definition. Think.
Whose features are fixed, the components are fixed.
If an application contains all the static web resources, okay, all the static web resources, then that application is called as static web application. Okay, let me tell you, static web application means, okay, it's an application in which all the web resources are static. Static in the sense what? They are constant. There is no dynamic data at all. Data will never change at all. Okay, say for example, let me give some examples. Okay, maybe like bank application. Okay, maybe some registration forms. Okay,
Ticket
all
booking, ma'am.
these are. Sorry,
Ticket booking, ma'am.
tell me. You tell me. Ticket booking is a static application or dynamic application?
It's a dynamic one, ma'am.
Okay.
It's dynamic. Information will change.
Yes, very good. If an application, okay, contains at least, okay, one dynamic web resource, okay, then that application is called as dynamic web application. Okay, it's not like dynamic application will have all dynamic resources, static applications will have all static resources. No, static application, it should have all the static resources. If any one is dynamic also, any one resource is dynamic also, that application is not static, it will become dynamic. Example, okay, banking application. Okay, maybe your bills, okay, electronic bills, electricity bills, your Vodafone bill, Airtel bill, all these are dynamic application. Your booking up websites, all these are dynamic applications. Okay, now observe, I will take an example. Okay, let us take an example. In this example, everything is static. Okay, everything is static. Okay, just take a lame example. I'm not focusing on Flipkart. Okay, any example you take, just everything is static. Every element is static. There is one option called as date. Okay, date is there. Date option is there. So will that application still be static or will it become dynamic?
Dynamic.
Date is a web resource. Date is a web resource and it is a dynamic web resource because the date keeps on changing. Every day it's a different new date. So date keeps on updating. Correct or not? So if date is there also, you can no longer tell your application is static. Understanding? So this is how you are going to understand. But 99.9% of the applications are dynamic. Okay, only certain registration forms or anything they might make it as static. Apart from that, each and everything it will be dynamic itself. Okay, usually some static information, if they want, they can make it as dynamic, static. All others are handled as dynamic itself. Any doubts in this? Take 2 minutes and observe.
But ma'am, you told in Flipkart that was estimate of maximum elements are static only.
But observe here, I have travel. This is a feature. This is a dynamic feature. Any one feature is dynamic also, I cannot tell the application is static. It will be dynamic. Understanding?
Okay. Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, this is one a basic understanding what we have got. So, what is a web application? Based on the web resources, we have two definitions, two types: static web application and dynamic web application. So, all the applications in real time which are working, they are all dynamic applications only. Static applications are very, very rare. Okay, very, very rare in the sense if they don't want any dynamic data at all, then they'll go for static. Okay, observe, no need to practice, but I will just show you, okay, how developers in real time they are going to develop. Okay, so let's say, okay, one second. Okay, observe here, this is a HTML page, okay, what I have created. Okay, just a dummy page. Okay, observe. So Chrome HTML document. My default browser is Chrome. So my application, HTML page has taken Chrome symbol. If your default browser is Firefox, it is going to take Firefox. Let me open it with a notepad. Okay, I have just created HTML header, HTML body. Okay, just welcome to TY is my header. Testing journey begins. I have just added a header one. Okay, login to begin. Just some inputs I have taken. Okay, some HTML code I have written here. Okay, let me open that. I'll just double click and open. So what is my address? Is it an application or it is just a web page? Two things I'm giving you options. One is it's just a web page. Another one is it's an application. Is it an application?
Yes, ma'am, just a web page.
It's just a web page, right? How do you tell me it is just a web page? What is the reason behind you telling me it's a web page?
Ma'am, there is no .com.
Entering the details and click on submit, and there will be no end.
The details and submit it.
The link does not have a HTTP and all that.
Very good. Observe, there is no server running. Correct or not? If there is no server, that means it is not a application. Server running in the sense what? You should either access via localhost or HTTP. Correct or not? Via some URL you have to access. But are you accessing via URL? You are just,
No, ma'am,
it is
it's
just
not
a
URL.
file location. Correct? This is just file location. Now observe, this same welcome to TY web page, let me open it as a application. For that, what I'm going to do is, let me go to my Eclipse. Okay, let me open my Eclipse. Now I'm going to create a simple static web application. Okay, if you have Enterprise Edition, you can try it. Okay, not a problem. If you don't have, don't uninstall and reinstall it. Just analyze. Okay. Now observe. I have a. Okay. Observe. So I have the Java version. Okay. So I have to change it to development version. Okay. Only then I can do the development operations. Let me go to Windows. Perspective. Open perspective. Go to other. Change it to Java EE perspective. Java EE is a developer perspective. Okay, enterprise edition. So if you want to create any application, it might be static application or it might be dynamic application. You have to work in this perspective. But if you have not installed enterprise edition, so this option you will not get. Okay. can try it. You can try it. So let me open the Java Enterprise Edition, Java EE perspective. Now observe, I'll go to File, I'll go to New. See, because I changed my perspective, I'm getting so many options. I'm getting here servlet configuration, static web application, connector project, EJB project. Yes or no? Before I did not get all these things. Okay, let me choose any of this. Either you choose dynamic or static, doesn't matter. Let me give a project name. Sdate 39. Okay, static project. Okay, no need to make any changes. Let me go to finish. Okay, let me go to finish. Are you able to see here? And project is ready here. Okay, this is the project. Okay, here, okay, don't worry about anything, because to configure static web application, we just have to, we want only the web page. But if you want to configure dynamic application, you should configure the servlet. Okay, I'll tell you what is the servlet and all. But practically doing it is not very easy. So you can ignore that. Let me go to source. Let me go to main. Let me open web app here. Okay. So whenever you create a project, this folder structure will be given by default by your Eclipse EE model. What I'm going to do is, I have already created this particular web page. Okay, let me copy this web page, come back to Eclipse, paste it inside the folder called as web app. Okay, paste it inside the folder called as web app. It's like my web page I have created already. That web page I am pushing it inside a server. Okay, after pasting it, just observe, right click. Now my application has been installed. Now I want to extract it. Okay, click on export. I want it in a WAR file. Go to WAR file. Okay, project name I'll not change. Let me go to designation. So this is your Apache Tomcat. If you want to show me how or where Apache Tomcat will be present, okay, just like how you have installed Maven, like that only you can go and download Apache Tomcat, and you can set the environment variables same as Maven. Okay, once after you set the environment variable, wherever you have it, okay, so where is it? One second, I don't know where I have saved it. One second, let's see. I think it's in my downloads only. Let's check. It's there. Okay, observe, you can save it anywhere. I have just set this location itself. So you will get a zip file, and after extraction, this is how you are going to get the folder. Okay, this is your server. This itself is your server. Okay, it's not like server will have any huge names or anything. This itself is your server. Inside this server, bin is for starting your server. Look here. Okay, whenever you install download Apache Tomcat, this folder will be given to you. It will be default in your system. Okay, after extraction, this folder will be there. For this folder only, you are going to set the location, environment variables you are going to set. After this, there are a couple of folders here. One is your bin folder, very important. Another one is your log folders. Another one is your web apps. These three folders are very important when you are performing any action with respect to applications. Let me tell you, expand bin, open bin. Under bin, if you look at, you have a file called as startup. See Windows batch file. The extension of these files will be .bat. Okay, Windows batch file. So double click it. When you double click, okay, this is how you manually start your server. Are you able to see? Catalina server startup is ready. So that means after this only your server is running, up and running. Any operation you want, you can configure. If you want to shut down, okay, I open shell script like this. One second. Okay, batch file, I'm shutting down. Okay, I think it's not that shut down. So let me start up again. Okay, if your environment variables are set properly, you will not get any issues. Okay, like this, your Catalina server will start running. Okay, this is about your bin. What you should know in bin is how to start the server. Start the server is nothing but double click on startup batch file. After that, you have logs. Okay, this is nothing but your server logs. You have web apps. This is where you have to store your applications. Okay, this is where you have to store all your applications. Now what I will do, from Eclipse I will export it to web apps. How do I export? Right click, export, war file. Okay, no need to change the name. Browse it. Are you able to see here? Apache Tomcat. I'll go to web apps. For every time when you are exporting, make sure you should dump your application in this folder itself. Only if you write it in web apps, your system will understand that is a web application. Okay, so make sure you are connected to internet, because here it will do the build processing. Okay, save it. It will throw you an error. Append .var. Let me finish it. Okay, let me finish it, and let me go back to the web apps. Okay, let me go back to web apps. What is my project name? It's DIT 39 static application. Huh? Did we get it? No.
Yes, ma'am.
We got it?
Ma'am, it is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Last
ma'am.
second.
Static project dot var, ma'am.
Last one.
39.
About
39. Yes. So var file we have only added. So once after we add this var file, automatically it should create your folder. Okay, has it created? Has it created? No.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yes.
What?
That means it is not properly exported. Okay, as and when you create, within 2 minutes it will create a folder. It should only create a folder. I cannot create a separate folder here. Okay, observe. So let me go to Eclipse, right click, export, var file, browse. Okay, it's not there. Save it. Okay, .var, finish it. Let me go to downloads. Okay, web apps. My modified.
What will
It did. One second. Just give me a moment. I think I have not saved it. Let me come back. Let me redo the process. Okay. So let me save it. Right click, export, WAR file, browse it, save, .var, finish, come here, paste it. It should come, no? My server is running first of all. Let me rerun the server. Okay. See guys, if it should convert, if it should convert your
Folder is clear, ma'am.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. See what we understood. Server should be properly up and running. Otherwise, you will not see the changes. You will just paste the WAR file here. For your WAR file, it is going to create a folder. That this folder itself will act as your application. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let me go to bin. Start the server again. Okay. Start the server again. After starting the server, again right click. Again export. Browse. Okay, save .var. Folder. Let me go to web apps. Observe, this is the WAR file you pasted. Respective to that WAR file, your project folder is created. Now observe, I will go and access via my URL. Let me open a new tab. Okay, http:// okay, localhost I'm using because it is already installed in my system, and the default port number of Tomcat is 8080. Okay, for you people, I mean Jenkins will be running. If Jenkins is running, it will throw me an error, or it will throw me the login sign in page of Jenkins. One second, see, it is throwing me the sign in page. So what I'm going to do is, let me go to taskbar. Okay, task manager, services, and I will stop Jenkins for a while. Okay, because both are using same port, so that default port is same, so it might create a problem. So I will stop it. Now what I have to do is http:// localhost 8080 is your URL. Okay, if you give this URL, what happens? The control will come until your web apps. Inside this web apps, where you have to go, you should specify your project name. Okay, observe, no need to do anything, just observe. Inside this project, you want to open this HTML page. So let me give it as /app.html. One second, let's see.
Sometimes localhost say so like this page only, ma'am. This side can't be used.
Yeah, all these applications are not very stable now. That's the reason. Have I used HTTPS? No.
But HTTP, ma'am, is not this.
Yeah, that's what. If I use HTTP, it will not work. I mean, HTTPS, it will not work. Mandatorily, I should use HTTP:// localhost Okay, 8080 twice it is. Let's see if this works. Any other project if I'm able to access? Let me rerun it. Let me go to bin. Okay, let me retry it. Okay, are you able to see now? Let us try for our application. What is the application name? What is the application name?
That 39 static project.
39 static project. Is that 39 hyphen static project slash app dot html. Are we getting? See? And if you observe above, there is a symbol of Tomcat. Okay, this is your Tomcat application symbol server. Is there any difference between the two? This is, see, no doubt the content is same. Okay, this is same here also, in this here also. But how you are accessing this? This is just a web page. There is no server running. But for this, it is a server running. We have a proper URL. We have a resource path, everything. Okay, that is how your application will be. Okay, even though it is static, say for example, you can go to any bank application, bank website, and you will they would have given application form to fill. Okay, that application extension is also .html only, but you are accessing it only through their server. Understanding? So this is how we are going to deal with applications. I just gave an example of how to create a static application. Okay, and sometimes we are going to get a lot of issues. Okay, like you're not able to understand what is happening. Sometimes your server is down. You have raised a bug, but that bug is not stable. Your developer is not working. I mean, not agreeing that it is a bug. That time what you can do is you have an option called as logs. Okay, this is how you should go and check the logs. Anywhere you go, a separate folder for Apache Tomcat will be created, and you should get inside that. Okay, if you open it, current day, date wise, a Catalina file will be generated. This is day wise. Per day, one file will be generated. If you open that, okay, he will give you the complete server logs. Okay, this is what we call it as server logs. Okay, so we are going to analyze failure with the help of this. In reality, what we can do is we would have anyways taken a screenshot of the pictures. Okay, screenshot of the failures. So that screenshot captured time, you can come and check here. Okay, it will be in milliseconds usually. You can come and check, so you can understand the issue. So this is one of the ways how you can debug. Okay, checking server logs. Make a note of it. How do you or why do we have to check the server logs? In the sense, some critical issues, reasons will be unknown. So in order to debug that, it's always a better approach to check the server logs. Okay, and this is especially true when you are a backend engineer. You will be given access to the server logs. Sometimes if there is no access for you, you have to talk to the admins, system admins, and take the file. This Catalina file they are going to mail you. Okay, if you request for server logs, if you don't have any access, if you request them, they are going to mail you this current day. If you tell the date, that day server logs they are going to mail. Based on this one, so you can verify. Okay, this is just an example of how to create a static web application and analyze. Dynamic I'll not teach because it is very difficult and it is very huge, time consuming. So if permits, if required, we'll see at the end. Okay. Even this also, no need to practice it. Okay, there is no, because sometimes your Eclipse might not support. If it is supporting, do give a try. If not, ignore. Okay, no problem. Just at least know the concepts. Okay. If this is clear, let me proceed to, okay, one more very important thing in the same journey is client server architecture of web application. Okay, so in general we discussed what is a client server application, what are the different types. So now we are going to do in detail with respect to web application. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute of time, just analyze and we'll start it.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
can you once, ma'am, explain that one how to convert that Java into that one development part? It was little fast, so I couldn't understand that.
No, the reason why I did it little fast is, point number one, practically doing not required. Okay, you need not work practically because application creation is not tester's job, right? Developers is going to do it. But why I showed you is, you should have, or you should know 3 folders. What are those 3 folders? What are those 3 folders which you should have an idea inside your Apache Tomcat?
Log,
Log,
bin,
Web page.
web apps.
web apps, log, bin.
3 folders you should know. Those 3 folders, if you know, it is more than enough. Okay, write down if you want. Okay, let me write it here because this is not a part of my actual session, so that's why I just showed you, okay, an idea enough. So let me write it like this: Apache Tomcat. First is, okay, download Apache Tomcat, okay, from any browser. After downloading, okay, set environment variables, just like how did you set it for Maven. Point number 3, 3 folders you should remember. One is bin. Why we need bin? To start the server. Okay, to start the server you need bin. Then you should know logs. Okay, to check the server related issues. Not only issues, anything and everything related to server you should go and check here. Okay, third folder you should know is web apps. Okay, to store the web application, okay, inside your Tomcat. These are the 3 folders you should know. One more question you can get is how, or let me take it like, what is the use of server logs? Any answer? Server logs help to analyze the status of application. It's needed for debugging process. Even the unknown issues from your script, even the unknown issues from the script, if at all you're not at all finding any other way, then server log is your only way to analyze. So you can check the server logs. One more question I'll give you. How to check server logs? How do you check? Go to Apache Tomcat folder. There you have a folder called as logs. Check for current date. Let me take it for required date.
आधे घंटे के लिए चल लेना चलेंगे.
If no access is
मेरे को
given,
बुला, हम गए.
then talk
अब
to admin and
देखिए क्या दिक्कत है. बिल्कुल आएंगे, क्यों नहीं आएंगे?
2 options. If you have the access, directly go to that folder and check the date. If you don't have access, talk to your admin and he is going to give you the access. These are the few things what you should know. That's all. Nothing else you have to know here. Just take a picture or I'll share the image. You want me to show how to check the server logs again? Go to the folder. This is your Apache Tomcat folder. Open it. You have an option called as logs. So let me go for the modified date. Are you able to see? 9/1. Per day, any number of times you add, per day only one log will be generated. In that log only it keeps on updating. So per day, every day log will be separately generated. Day-to-day log files. You can check it based on your time. So there are some log levels also. For example, info is a log level. Warning is a log level. Warning is a log level, and you also get issue. Fatal is a log level. Error is a log level. All these things we will analyze. Maybe when we can go further. We'll analyze it later. This much information is because to tell more also I'm little scared. Because what you people will do is you will take everything as a flow. This I have to learn. But there are few things which are not required. I don't want you to focus on not required things, but I will show you. It's like when any company you go, if you get any challenge like this, you should at least get this thought. We can go and check the logs. You should get that thought. But it's not like for every smallest thing you go and check the logs. It's not like that. So you should have an idea. You should know the things. Write it. If required, you use it. Otherwise, you ignore it. Too much also, it's not healthy. Okay, this much is enough. This is optimized information. And nobody will ask, or they don't have any rights to tell you why you have not done any applications, why you have not created application. Boss, my job is to test the application. Why I should create it? Getting the point? If I was capable of creating the application, I will become a developer. Why I will become a tester? If I'm a tester and still I have to learn how to build an application, then what is the meaning of being a tester? Correct? No. So learn what is needed. Rest all you ignore. Not to worry. Even these things is like your life savior. Okay. Maybe in critical situation you might get this question. Otherwise, it is not a more frequently asked questions also. Okay. So if this is done, and also it is good to know server and Tomcat at this point of time, because when I go to client server architecture, you will understand it much more easily. Okay, much more it will become simple for you. Okay. Okay. We'll do one thing. We'll take a 2 minutes break. Just write down what you have understood. So I'll come back. Okay.
इधर उधर जाना है, उसको देखना है, ये चूतिया और आ गया है। चल है, भूल हो रही है। आ जा बस। भाई तुमने बुलाया था, हमें तो कोई मतलब नहीं। हमें कब आते बताओ? वो क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं? वही बनाते हैं, क्या बोले? अरे हम तो बोलेंगे वही करेंगे, उनसे बात
Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yes.
मैम।
Okay. Now, imagine there is an application. Okay, there is an application called as Gmail. So you have an application called as Gmail. Okay, now you want to access this application. How will you access this application? It's a web application. How will you access this web application?
Ma'am, through URL.
Through
With the help of browser.
URL.
Through URL.
So I need some person called as browser. Correct now? What is a browser? What is a browser?
Platform, ma'am.
Platform.
Any application that allows access multiple servers is called as browser.
So can I tell browser is a standalone application? Is it so?
No, ma'am. It accessing many people can access.
Whatever it is. What it is. See.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Client server application is a web application.
Standalone.
Standalone, man. Browser is a standalone application. Yes, it can work. See, guys, let me tell you, browser can perform anything. I'm not worried about browser. If I want to do anything with respect to work on Chrome browser, then I should install Chrome in my system. If I want to use Firefox browser, I should install Firefox in my system. If I want Edge, I should install Edge in my system. So, typically speaking, browser is a standalone application. Understanding? It is a standalone application. Okay, done. So, what I will do is, I'll go and hit the URL. Okay, https:// I'll go for gmail.com. If I give this, what happens? What happens if I give this?
You will be redirected. When the redirect to home page.
Home page you are going to get? Home page?
Server
Login to
Login page.
Login page.
Login page. Correct, no? So there is some mechanism. So whatever the things you are entering in the browser, it will check your address and it is going to taking you to that particular address. Agree? Okay. Browser itself is called as client. Please remember, if you take a web application, browser himself is called as what? Client. Okay. So this is nothing but your server. Okay. This is nothing but your server. So client to server, how the communication is happening? Okay. We call it as HTTP request. Okay. In the sense, I am a client. Okay. I am requesting something from my server. Okay, I'm a client, I'm requesting something. So HTTP is like a understanding between browser and the server. Okay, see HTTPS, HTTP, it's an understanding. We'll go in detail, not now, later. Okay, so let me repeat. I am going to the browser, I am entering some URL. Whenever I enter the URL, what my client will do, it will communicate with the server. Okay, so this request from client or from browser, whatever you ask for the server is called as HTTP request. Okay, now inside what happens, inside what all are there? Okay, we have something called as, okay, web server. Okay, web server, let me quote some examples. Okay, Apache Tomcat is a web server. Okay, IBM WebSphere, it's a web server. Okay, Glassfish, it's a web server. All these are different web servers available in the market. It is like a centralized place. Okay, central place where everything is ready, or that system applications are installed. Okay, so what you happened is you are looking for Gmail. This request has been sent from browser to this particular server. Okay, from browser to server, the request has reached this server. Okay, in that means this web server, it is going to check once again. Okay, so this web server now should search for what? Gmail application. Okay, let's say Gmail has a, okay, Gmail has an IP address 10 dot
कह रहे हैं कि सभी को
20
आना
dot
पड़ेगा, ये करना
30
पड़ेगा।
dot
अब भोजड़ी
40.
का आगे
So
आता
this is
है।
the IP address your web server is going to search. Where it is going to search? Remember our example. See, Apache Tomcat, also web server. Look at web apps. See, all these are individual applications. Correct or not? In my server, in my Tomcat server, I have so many applications. Amongst this application, which application you are looking? We are looking for Gmail. So it is going to connect to my Gmail application. This we call it as app server. Okay, app server, or simply a web application. Okay, simply a web application. Till now, what we had is every application will have its own server. Correct or not? They are independent. This was our ideology. But here, what is happening? We have someone called as web server where all the applications are there. How do you analyze this? How do you analyze this? Question is clear. Let me repeat, understand. So, till now what I thought is if I enter gmail.com, directly the request is going to go here. I did not have a concept of this one. Correct or not? I thought directly it is going to connect to my Gmail server. Here it is not directly connecting to Gmail server. There is one more web server through which it is connecting to what? Gmail. That means Gmail, or imagine there is one more application. Okay, Yahoo, Facebook, all these are under some servers. How is it possible? Can you tell me? Please understand. This web server is a system. Okay, is a computer which is holding multiple app servers, multiple applications. So if I tell localhost 8080, that means Tomcat is running. Inside Tomcat, see, so many applications are there. Okay, one web server consists of multiple app servers. This app server, whatever they build, it is just a functionality. Okay, it's a collection of functionality, that's all. Server configuration has to happen from these people only, either Tomcat or WebSphere or Glassfish only. They should configure the server. Understanding? So always remember, every application will have its web server. Okay, and one web server can have multiple app servers. Okay, but when it comes to huge applications like your Gmail, Flipkart, Amazon, okay, your Facebook, Instagram, what they do is they will configure a server. In that server, their entire application they will store. Only their application they will store. They will not store any other application. Okay, for example, observe, in my Tomcat server, I have stored all the applications, right? All the batch details, 39, 36, okay, TY, everything I have it. Q spiders, correct? No, everything I have. will store only their application. Other applications they don't want. Getting the point? So if I talk about Flipkart, only Flipkart related information will be present in that server. If I talk about Amazon, only Amazon related information will be present. That is how they are going to maintain. Okay. For example, imagine I have created one application. Okay, I have configured server for that. That application is only for accessing Test Yantra. So can I give access for other companies also? Can I give access?
No, ma'am.
No, I cannot share that. Understanding. So that they are all configured, highly confidential information. So in my local system, in my computer, what happens? Anybody can access any application, any servers I can configure. Okay, but there they will dedicatedly keep a server for one application. Okay, and that application also they will not maintain fully. It's like now I have one application. Imagine I have a Facebook as application. In that Facebook also, every feature will be developed as an application. Okay, it's not like as a whole Facebook is working. Let me give a beautiful example for this. Okay, imagine you have a Facebook. Okay, you have Facebook account. In that, okay, I'm talking about 10 years back. Okay, Facebook is an application. So I have an account. I'm a user. My job in Facebook is I like to look at the newsfeed. That's all. Some people are doing something. I want to look at only the newsfeed. That is one client base. There are some people who wants to chat with the help of Facebook. They'll create new friends. They'll start chatting with those friends. There are some people who are going to use Facebook only for posting videos. Yes or no? Only for posting videos. Now, in these three cases, if you analyze, all three are customers of Facebook. All three are customers of Facebook. Who is consuming maximum Facebook performance? Who is consuming more system performance of Facebook? Who is consuming? The one who is just watching the news feed, one who is messaging, another one who is uploading videos. Who is using more space?
Uploading videos.
Uploading videos. Correct, no? The one who is uploading videos is taking maximum system space in the application. Because of that one person, these two people who are doing minimal usage also, they are not able to get good Facebook performance. Why? For example, to be still more precise, you are busy uploading videos. Per day you will upload 10 to 12 videos. I am not doing anything. Still I am getting buffering. Still my Facebook page is not getting loaded. Why it could be like this? Or what is the problem? What could be the problem?
Because
Question
video is taking much more data.
Question you understood first of all? Question you understood? No. I think even you would have scolded your friends.
Or
Tell me.
the people will be in a single place.
Very good. Who is that?
Neera.
Munira. Perfect. Because it's not the mistake of your friend who is uploading the videos. It is his wish. Correct? No. What this Facebook is doing, every feature, they are maintaining it in a single server. Correct? No. So you do any smallest thing also, you are getting a issue. Somebody else is facing that issue. So what is a better approach? What is a better approach? Instead of one server, you
Distribute
make
the data.
multiple, distribute the load. So what he did is later. Nowadays, if you know, there is no issues like that. What they did is, for chatting they created a separate server. For friends they created a separate server. For newsfeed they created a separate server. For videos they created a separate server. For pages they created a separate server. And they interlinked everything. Okay, they interlinked. So
Ma'am, all of these will be app server, right?
yes, all of these are app server. Under which web server? A single web server. Okay, they are all pieces of your app server. Okay, so they created everything How in the sense, for everything, because of one video performance, he should scale up every time. Correct? So scaling up the entire huge server is a big cost. Nobody is using, only one person is using. So if I maintain it in a small servers, what happens? That small server where I need video, only that I can scale up. Others no need. So I can vary the memory, I can variably distribute the load. So this is how one application can have multiple servers. Okay, one application can have multiple servers. We call it as microserver architecture. Okay, so it's not needed as of we are concerned, but still have a glimpse of it. Okay, whenever I tell any real-time examples, analyze it, think it in a perspective. Is it okay? So
Ma'am,
web server.
Because
told
of
like-
having a big server, the messenger application developed because of that.
Yes, they are all subordinates of your Facebook only. Okay. One.
ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, you told like browser is standalone application, like, but it's using the internet now, ma'am. How it is? I'm little
Who told
confused.
browser needs internet? Anybody support it? Who told you browser needs internet? Without internet also you can launch an empty browser. If you want to load any application, you need internet. Otherwise you don't need internet. Correct no?
Okay.
Correct no guys? You can launch an empty browser without internet. If you want to make use of its functionality, if you want to load any application, then you need internet. And that is a web application. That's why you need internet. You can launch empty browser without any internet. Your browser will work.
Yeah, ma'am, I got it.
Got it? Good. Okay. So the whole lot of agenda what we planned is, what we collaborated is, one web server can have multiple app servers. Okay. If you take a best example, here Tomcat is my server, one web server. Inside this web server, I have so many applications. Okay. Depending on my IP address, depending on my domain name, application will be connected based on my request. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes. Now observe. So this is about your web server. Now let me get inside app server. Okay, what is present inside my app server? Okay, let me write small components. Okay, don't tell there are only 4 components. I'm just taking an example. Okay, let me write the features. Login dot java. Okay, login dot html. Okay, so I have taken example of Gmail. So Gmail has inbox. I'm taking inbox.java. I'm taking inbox.html. Similarly, let me take it as drafts.java, drafts.html. Similarly, compose is a module, compose.java, compose.html. So what I'm trying to tell, what is this one dabba here?
What feature?
What is this?
One feature, ma'am.
The web feature.
This one
Maybe
dabba is one feature. Correct, no? Instead of calling it as one feature, can I call it as one resource? One
Maybe.
web resource.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my one web resource. But inside web resource, I have written 2 things. One is my .java file. Another one is my .html file. Why?
Front end and
Front end and back end.
Front end and backend. Okay, I forgot one more thing. Let me add it. Okay, in this only, let's say I have
JDBC.
JDBC also. Why JDBC?
Data.
For the data.
Why
Fetching the
database?
data.
Why database?
Ma'am,
And
every
communication with
Store the data.
Okay, database is a communication, right? I mean, storage unit. So imagine here is your database. Okay, here is your database. So let me take database as MySQL. MySQL is my database. Correct, no? So with the help of your JDBC, the communication with the database will happen to and fro. You can create also, you can retrieve also. Tell me. So yeah, JDBC is also a part of your app server itself. Okay, JDBC is also part of your app server. Okay. Now can you tell me anything? Okay, JDBC is ruled out because we know the things. We know the things. Apart from that, what is this Java and HTML? Java is my programming language, correct? In Java, if I write login.java, what is it? If I write anything as login.java or draft.java, what is it? This one.
Source code of that particular
and source or resource.
Definition for which Java.
business project.
Very good. This is nothing but my source code. Correct? This is nothing but my source code. Then, what is this? .html.
GUI.
GUI.
Okay, it's your GUI.
GUI.
Can I take this as a HTML code? Correct, no? I am taking it as HTML code. So, HTML code in the sense, it will just consist of my front end. Okay, I have Java code and I have HTML code. One second, wait. Let me write it in a more convincing way. Okay, done. This is my HTML code. There is front end, there is business layer, and this is nothing but my JDBC. Okay, this is nothing but my JDBC. That means this is my database. Correct, no? This also, let me take it as JDBC code. Correct? Now tell me, JDBC and Java are anyways connected. JDBC and your source code are anyways connected. There is no problem. But my question here is, your source code and HTML code are connected together. Are they connected? Or there is no need for them to be connected? Or there is need for connected?
It should be connected.
They are already connected.
It should be connected.
Yeah, ma'am, it should be connected because it will performance code.
Then because of that, individual will be used that application.
Yes. What happens is, source code will just tell the action. HTML code will just show the action. Okay, it will just show what it is there. But these two have to be binded together. Okay, these two have to be binded together. Only then, if you click on login button, login will happen and home page will appear. Otherwise, click will be somewhere, logic will be something else. Okay, so there should be coordination between these two. This is ensured by one more code called as servlet code. Okay, so what do we call it as? Servlet code, which will bind, okay, .java .java with its .html. Okay, whatever is your page, whatever is the operation you are doing, you are supposed to write a simple servlet logic. Okay, we have lot of methods like okay, method names are like do get, okay, do post. Okay, these are all couple of methods which are, or I can tell okay, these are all abstract methods which are present in your servlet configuration. So you can override these methods and you can provide your own configuration. Okay, servlet code. So no need to analyze what is servlet code, no need to write or no need to practice. Practically we cannot do it. Okay, but you should just know any .java or .html code is there, then with that a separate servlet code will be there which is going to bind these two together. Okay, so source code will be written separately, HTML page will be developed separately. Later, with the help of servlet, they are going to bring these two people together. Is it clear, everybody? So what
Yes,
your
sir.
app server will contain, if anybody asks you a question, what your app server or what your web application, what all codes they contain, you should tell source code, you should tell servlet code, HTML code, and JDBC code. This is how a complete application looks like. Okay, inside, in and around, what is inside, we are trying to dig more on application now. Okay, if one application is like this, one web application, all the application will be the same way. Okay, first you should understand how to communicate with one application. Later you can make those two applications to talk to each other. Getting the point? So if you take a client server architecture of web application, these are the few things which are expected for you to explain. Right from where? Your browser, your web server, your app server, and your database. Okay, these are the things which are expected. Okay, now so we told browser is going to send a HTTP request to the server. Okay, server will check which is the app server. Okay, then the app server will be reverted back. Okay, so then this web server is going to return back the response to whom? Is going to return back the response to browser. What do we call this as? HTTP response. Okay, HTTP response. Browser to server, HTTP request, server to browser, HTTP response. Key point what you should remember here is, okay, what you should remember here is, so one is your browser, database, server. Any web application you take, this is how it will be internally configured. Okay, now my question is, I will go to the login page. Okay, I will go to the login page. I will go to the login page. I will enter the username. Okay, I will enter the password and I will click on login button. I will click on login button. Okay, I will click, that's all. After clicking, okay, the time when you click, that itself is your HTTP request, because we had UI, you can click there. Any action you perform, it is taken as a request. What is the response? Okay, this is nothing but your request. What is the response? Tell me.
It will
If
check
you
that
have a
it will move to
And it should
web
display
server,
the
then it will take it to app server. Then it will
Once
take data
after
from database.
the request, once after you send the request, this request will reach the server. Okay, it will reach the server and server will respond back to you by sending what? Okay, by displaying your home page. It will not tell you, boss, you gave me the request, take this is the response. It will not tell. If he has displayed home page in the sense, that means you should understand this is the response. Now, take a situation. I will enter the username, I will enter the password. Okay, instead of A, B, C, I entered only A. Wrong password I have entered. I will click on login button. Now what happens? Will your server not recognize or it will not reply you?
It will.
Server will not
I
respond.
think it will not reach, ma'am.
Like
It will
login
respond,
page
but the home page will not respond.
Ma'am,
Sorry?
server is that the password is wrong. Server response.
How will server get to know the password is wrong? Who told the server? What is the right password?
But it will
Ma'am,
connect
it
through
is-
database, ma'am. It will check through
It is
database.
not able to fetch the data from the database, so it will respond the login page only.
Yes, perfect. I'm feeling really confident because you are applying so much mind. Okay, excellent. What it is going to do? It will go immediately check the database whether username entered is right or wrong. Your database has sent the data. It will compare. Is the login details correct? Login details are wrong. What it will do? It will stay in login page only, but it will send a message. Please enter valid username and password. Correct? No.
Yes.
In the UI, you would have written a message. That message will be displayed to you. Now tell me, is that a response or not? Whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It is
ma'am.
also a response.
Yes, ma'am. It's also a response. Also.
Yes, it is also a response. Some issues you had made, it is a response. Okay. So like this, you are going to get lot of challenges. Okay, lot of challenges from today. All you should think about is how the application behaves, how I can make it as my own application, how the server will behave. Okay, all the things you have to start analyzing from this point of time. Okay, so this is about your client server architecture. Always remember, whatever server sends, it might be right or it might be wrong. It is unpredictable. Okay, so sometimes server will go down, sometimes power might hinder your server backup, sometimes instead of responding 200 server says 300. All the behavior which server tells is just unpredictable. We will not have any hold on this. So we should know how to deal with issues that are related, that are arised with the help of certain known knowledge or facts. Okay, we cannot. Nobody can tell server is 100% accurate. It will work 100% fine. Okay, that's why every application will tell it is 99% bug free. Nobody will tell it is 100% bug free. Okay, it can't be. Is it clear, everybody? So if I
Ma'am, here,
Yeah.
Ma'am, here three-tier architecture is web server app and JDBC.
Yes. Yes. No, not web server. Browser is one tier architecture, one layer. Web server and app server is one layer. Database is another layer. Okay. Because in browser you can only see the UI. Okay, UI is operating in the browser. Server functionalities are operating. Storage happens in database. All three are stored in different places. Like this you analyze. Okay. Let me write it in green color. Okay, this is one tier, this is one tier, this is one. Okay, three different layers of application present in three different places. That's why we call web application as a three-tier architecture. Okay, and for each and every person there is a communication. See, there is a communication happening. There is a communication happening. This is your communication. Okay, so if it is clear, let me tell you, this is very important point, interview perspective, because they might ask you to write it. Okay, write a diagrammatic view of your application. Okay, write the client server architecture of your application. Okay, explain or they might ask you, okay, let me stick to this question. So client server architecture, okay, few sentences explain it. All these means you should talk about the browser, you should talk about the web server, app server, and database. Okay, with this inside your app server, these are the four codes you should talk. Okay, this is nothing but your URL. Okay, one part of the question. Another question what you can expect more frequently is, okay, what is the stack of your application? Okay, explain three-tier architecture of your application, or explain the various layers of your application. Okay, for all these things the answer remains same. What is that?
Ma'am, stack means I'm not getting.
That's why I asked. For all these question, all three question answer is same. Okay, you don't know stack, forget about this. What about other two? What you are going to explain if you get this question?
And the presentation layer, business layer, and the database layer are stored in three different.
Any of this question. Stack means layers. Three layers of present in your application. So you should talk about, okay, you should talk about presentation layer, okay,
Network layer.
layer,
Database.
and database layer. If I tell talk about, what you will talk? What you are going to talk? Once more is explain the technology of your application. Okay, even this question the answer is same. You are going to talk about the various technologies, how your application has been developed or evolved. For example, okay, for example, database if I take, MySQL I have used. Business layer if I take, okay, Java plus Spring Boot I will take. Okay, presentation layer if I tell, I am going to take React JS. Okay, let me write it in a proper way. Okay, React JS I am going to take. Now what is this Java plus Spring Boot is? Java we already know. Spring Boot is the one I was talking about, your servlet. Okay, so Spring Boot gives you the servlet programs. Okay, it is a technology in Java which is, okay, Spring Boot, Bootstrap, all these which help you to develop your servlet code. Okay, so stack in the sense you would have heard the designations: full stack developer, full stack tester. Getting the point? Stack in the sense one or full stack developer. Yeah, in companies. So they are the one who can handle all the three layers of the application. Stack is a layer. Okay. So three-tier architecture, various layers of your application, or explain the technology of application. Any question you get, these four questions, the answer is you should mandatorily talk about this. That's all. If you explain this with little amount of this presentation, it is enough. Okay, how you have developed presentation layer, how you have developed business layer, how you have developed database. Database, nobody will ask you how did you develop, because everybody is going to use the already existing databases. So which database you have used? Okay, so these three layers and this architecture, you are going to send a request. That request will reach your web server. From web server it will check which is the, okay, IP address. So it will navigate to that particular app server. Okay, say for example, you have given, okay, /login. Okay, what should open actually? Login page will open directly instead of login. Let's say in the URL itself, I have given /inbox. If I give inbox, what resource should open? What resource should open? Inbox should. Okay, like this, you can give it in your browser only. But it is not for secured applications. If your application is not very secure, you can go for it. Flipkart or Amazon. Okay, they are all browser to business to customer applications, so you can go with that. Directly in the URL also you can load it. Okay. Any doubts in this? Yeah.
I have a doubt, ma'am. As you have tagged login and inbox, and you are it will be directly fetching from the app server, or it will go to web server and then it will get to app.
It is going to web server only. But in app server, from web server it is directed to app server. Okay. In app server, it will not open login. You have asked for inbox, directly it will open the inbox feature.
Okay.
Okay. Because these two lines you are talking about.
क्या कर रहा हूँ मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Without login, ma'am, how it will reach my inbox?
I will go to Flipkart. Okay. I will go to Flipkart. Okay. Observe here. I have not logged in. I don't have any account at all. Now I want to go to mobiles. I will go and type mobiles. Mobiles are coming. Getting the point? That's what I told. Don't take an example for Gmail. Okay, because Gmail is a secured. We have used HTTPS. So you have to log in and you have to go. But there are some customer applications, business to customer. For them, if you ask them to create account, they will migrate to another application. Correct? No. If Flipkart says every time you should provide username and password, then only you can log into application. 2 days I will see. Third day I will not use it at all, because there are a lot of applications in the market which are more user friendly. Even if I don't buy anything, why I should create an account? Correct? No. So like this, you will get a lot of things to analyze. Okay. See, instead of mobile phones, I'll go to Flipkart. I'll go and enter on electronics. Okay, directly URL. Page. Spelling mistake. Electronics. Still case sensitive. Let's see. I'm not very sure whether it will work or not. Okay. If I go to electronics, yeah, see, this is a link, so it was directly opening, but it is a drop down. That's why it is not opening. Okay. So if you analyze it, you will get. Okay, let me go to travel. Travel is also a link. Travel should open now.
Links are very lengthy.
Yeah, links are very lengthy. Just trial and error. No, not found. Okay, fine, no problem. You can give it. Okay, to go for login. Some application. Okay, I'm telling you, some applications. Tell me.
And it is like we are giving the request to the web server, and the web server is responding with the app server, and if that particular thing is presented, app server will respond to the web server, and that response will go to us.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to learn more about URL. Okay, tomorrow our concept itself we are going to start from web URL.
Ma'am, means every time we no need to connect to the database, ma'am. It will work up to app server only.
Yeah, see, you are not doing anything. Our point is, I want this resource, that's all. Internally, all these codes are happening. Your database connection, everything it is doing. Finally, it is giving you the output in the form of a response for you. Okay, we are not doing anything. Please remember, it is already configured. He is going to do. For example, let me go to vTagger application. Okay, see, I have created an account while installing the application, username and password. If I click on login button, if my username and password is right, it will take me to home page. Let's say my password is wrong. What happens if my password is wrong? Will it take me to home page? Obviously not, right? I'll do the mistake in password. Let me log in. See, you must specify a valid username and password. That means somewhere internally my application is connecting to the database and validating whether it is a right user or not. Correct? No. So we are not doing it manually. Manually, I don't have to do anything. It is happening. That is why, if you observe the diagram what I have written, this is you towards one side. This entire thing is towards other side. See, this entire thing is towards other side. It will do the job. You just send the request. Okay, you just send the request. It is doing the job. Once after everything is collaborated, it is going to give you the response. That response is reaching back to you. Understanding? So we are not doing, I'm not going to database, I'm not connecting to server, I'm not doing servlet code, nothing. I'm a client here, I'm a user. So everything is happening inside this particular line. Finally, I'm getting the output or response.
Ma'am, one more thing.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as we have a lot of web application and also we are using a mobile application. But let's take an example of Facebook. We serve as from the web application also, and we are having a mobile application which we use that. Ma'am,
Yeah.
both are having the same scenario to execute the things what we do on the Facebook and all.
Very good question. So, for example, you have logged in through your mobile. Okay. Imagine you have updated a status. You will log in through web, facebook.com. You will log in through web. The status which you have applied through phone, it should be visible through web also. Correct now? This is what is your question. Will it happen in the same way? It is API. Okay. Because the web version is separately treated, mobile version is separately treated because both are different UIs, different UI platforms. So between these two, communication will happen with the help of API. Here we have not yet analyzed API. No concept of API here. It is just a mutual handshake signals. Okay, mutual handshake. All HTTP protocol is working. Still, it is not API. Whereas if you take mobile and a web, it is treated as two different applications. There, API is the only medium of communication. It's like you are making two applications to communicate with each other. Okay, I'll take a better example when I go for explaining web services.
Okay.
Okay. So okay, fine guys. I'll share the document with you regarding this. Just analyze what you have understood. I think today it was little tricky. Okay, little tricky. So try to analyze it and read the document. You will understand it more conveniently. So if any doubts are there, just drop a text in the group. We'll resolve it. So tomorrow I'm going to do with the web URL, and with web URL we'll also start with XML if possible. Okay. Saturday no session, Sunday no session. Monday we'll go with JSON and serialization and all. Monday. Tuesday I'm going to start with web services. No, Monday only I'll try to start web services. Monday or Tuesday in that beach May. So Tuesday probably I'll be starting with practicals. Okay, another 2 to 3 sessions we are going to start with practicals. So Postman and this one, rest assured. First we'll do Postman. Postman will take around 3 to 4 days, and rest assured will take around 3 to 4 days. That's it with your API. Okay.
Yes. Got it.
Okay, done. So just take a picture and try to write down what you understood. Write the things. Okay, so tomorrow I'll take until maybe 5:30 or so, because a little huge concept, because I think now another 15-20 minutes I cannot finish a concept, so I don't want to start. Tomorrow I'll drag it till 5:30. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I have one different issue, ma'am. Like in Eclipse, I got one issue from one of my friend, ma'am. Like all the names of programs .java names are showing, but programs are not showing, ma'am. It's showing like cannot determine URL like that.
Take a picture and put it. Let's see.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm sending you.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
my log folder is empty, ma'am, as I have downloaded the.
Yeah. Still you have not done any operation, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, run it. Run your server. Do anything, any operation you do. Just run it.
Okay.
Server, if you run and stop also, your log will be updated.
Okay.
Yeah, sent, ma'am.
Newly installed, that's why it is empty. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, fine guys. If no doubts, then we can wind it up for today. So tomorrow I'm going to ask the client server architecture for everybody. Okay, be prepared. Because I'm anyways taking session at 3 o'clock. Morning, I don't know what you will be doing. Did you had any sessions in the morning?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. We were waiting.
Yeah. So freeze the time. Okay, freeze the time. Every day from 3 only my session will start. 3 to maybe 5:30, 5, 6. Okay, like that we'll try to wind it up. Let's see how far it will go. Because after 4:30 I'll not start any new concept. Okay. So if I'm started, I will complete it by 5:30. Like that. Okay. So that is the thing. And one more thing is, don't waste the time. Please sit and do some productive work. And it's not like only API, because now you have no, until I finish theory there is no API task, correct? No. So do some Java or Selenium things, try to practice. If while doing any doubts you are getting, just have a look at it, ask any trainers, drop it in the group, somebody else will also try. Okay, make the most use of it. Okay, make it more productive.
Ma'am,
Okay.